At the time you're watching this or listening, we're about a week out from the big show, day one, that is. And if you're a draft junkie, football nerd like myself, there's almost nothing better than this. And my wife already knows. Draft weekend, I'm going to be out of pocket for a little bit. My kids understand, even though I still make time because they come first. And this typically falls around my birthday. I will be out and about while all the festivities are going on, but do believe I'll be tuned in and I will be available for the draft show. I'm gonna be able to sit all 3 days for an extended period of time, but your boy will be in the building digitally. So without further ado, I got a little something that I want to touch on today. So let's get into it. It's me. I'm back with another 5 of them things. Let's roll. I'm going to keep it a buck with y'all straight off the rip. I do a lot less Twittering these days. One of the reasons why is because Chargers Twitter has gotten way out of hand. It's a free space to where you can express whatever your feelings, thoughts, and opinions are. It's all good, and to each their own. Everybody sees things their own way. Nothing wrong with that. It's kind of what makes things exciting. But there are some people out there that are on the precipice of just being utterly ridiculous and not sounding like they have a clue of what they're talking about. Without being overly insulting here, let's just kind of get to the point because I don't want to belabor it any further. Today is a very specific topic, and it's going to center around one particular player, and that is Jalen Guyton. So let's get to number one here. He's not that guy. Now, what I mean here is that, yes, is Jalen Guyton re-signing a good thing? Sure, because it provides an element of the game that Chargers were missing sorely last year. They were lacking in being able to create explosive plays down the field. He is a deep threat, and that's all he is. Now, does he seem more valuable because he wasn't around last year and you saw what the offense looked like without him? Absolutely. But don't put too much stock into that because it doesn't solve all the Chargers' issues offensively from a skill position perspective. Jalen's really fast, linearly. Is that really a word? This is me, the English/journalism major, asking myself this in real time. Yo, don't worry about it. Super fast in a straight line. Really good build-up speed. 4.3 guy. Of course. Threatens defenses deep. Absolutely. You need that. Justin Herbert seems to really like him. Some of his biggest plays, well, actually his biggest plays were to Jalen Guyton. Cool. No big deal. But teams know what to expect when Guyton's on the field. Now, does he still give you some options in regards to being able to get more open underneath and intermediate with like a Keenan and a Mike? Sure. But when you need a big play and Guyton's on the field, teams pretty much know what to expect. So it's not the end-all be-all and it doesn't solve all of the issues. So let's just be clear. And that kind of brings me to my next point. Number 2, it's levels, man. All speed is not created equal. And I think that's the problem we have in here. A lot of people just assume that a quote-unquote speed guy is all the Chargers need. And by bringing Guyton back into the fold, problem solved. Well, here is the thing. I mentioned this before. A guy with one trick, runs pretty fast in a straight line, does not eliminate all of the issues that you have at that position. Or just speaking specifically to the offense, it only adds one thing, although yes, it's a very important thing. Still leaves you with a couple issues. If you're constantly having to dig deep for a big play and the only way that you can get it is by bombing the ball 60 to 70 yards, if that's the best hope you have, chunking it up there and hoping your fast guy can outrun everybody, then you're going to have a little bit of a problem. What you need is someone who's fast in every direction, that can create on their own, that can take something that's short, and you've heard me say this a bunch of times, feel like I'm beating a dead horse, but a person who can take a slant or a hitch, quick out, and manufacture another 50 to 60 yards on their own. Someone who's a playmaker, a creator, by themselves. That helps Justin Herbert tremendously. It takes a whole lot of stress off of him. It actually puts him in more advantageous situations where he's not having to take, 5-7 step drops. You're putting him at risk, and you're playing against some of the higher upper echelon edge rushers that can really put some heat on him, and he takes some shots just to stick in the pocket and deliver the ball deep downfield. You're putting him at risk there. Now, you expect guys to do their job, but you can't expect it to happen perfectly all the time. If you can give him somebody who can take a ball in a short area and create on their own, it's the same amount of yardage, and he's doing a lot less of the work. The stats still add up the same, but you're helping him. You're giving him another weapon, a type of player the Chargers don't presently have, and Jalen Guyton does not fit that bill. It's cool that he's there for depth. It's awesome that he adds the element of speed and opens up the back quadrant of the field. Totally get it. Deep third, perfect. Great. But you need someone who can work all three levels, the short, the medium, and the deep, and can take it to the house from any one of them. Tell me who presently exists on the roster that can do that, and be honest. Yeah, this is all kind of just going to sound like it's running together, but humor me for a while, okay? It makes sense in the end. If you see the direction I'm going in, you can probably tell already, but we'll get there. Number 3, impending doom. Like I mentioned before, the Chargers do not have a 3-level offensive threat at any position. But in particular, we're talking about at wide receiver. Why do I keep harping on this? Well, Kellen Moore, of course, is going to come in and probably be more innovative than Joe Lombardi, which isn't very hard to do, so that's not saying much. But he's going to be more creative in the offense. He's going to utilize some players to their strengths. I'm sure we'll see them used in different ways, but what he still doesn't have, that Joe Lombardi also didn't have, was someone who can threaten at all 3 levels of the field. You want to know why that's a big deal? Because when you have to pay attention to someone who can house it on any given touch, it's going to open up windows for your other playmakers. Keenan and Mike are going to be able to work the intermediate, deep, and short, and also Joshua Palmer in the mix as well. And there's probably going to be a few busted plays to be had. You can never have too much explosiveness on offense. That's where the league is. It's an offensive game. Almost all of the rules are set up for the offense to have an advantage. And that kind of leads me into addressing this whole thing about people talking about smaller wide receivers. Again, you see where I'm going with this? Yeah. It doesn't make as much of a difference as it used to, because you can't really hit guys anymore. And you can get hands on them, but only to a certain extent. Somebody's going to try to use that against me when it comes to other specific types of players or other names in this draft. But it's a little bit different. And if I had more time, I'd explain it. And if you want to chat about it, other place, time, whatever, it's all good with me. Someone that may be diminutive in size, that has a specific skill set where they're explosive in virtually every direction. A compass player, you've heard me say that before. Someone who can move laterally, backwards, north and south, east, west, whatever, and make it happen. Just as long as you get the ball in their hands, makes life so much easier for everyone else on the field. Again, including your quarterback. Why would you not want that for your team? Oh, and by the way, that person can also add value as a returner. Sounds like something that might be worth a 21st pick to me. That's right, I'm going there soon. I'm about to have an old man get off my lawn moment. I'm almost 40, so I'm entitled to it. You know what kind of chaps my hide a little bit? When people ignore clear and obvious statements. Which brings me to number 4. Hearing ain't listening. There's a difference. Brandon Staley recently, during a little interview, mentioned that, and I think the question was brought up to him about having more speed offensively. And he said that a receiver needs to be more than just fast. Now, if that's true, then the re-signing of Jalen Guyton doesn't fix everything in totality now, does it? So everyone out there that feels as if Jalen Guyton being brought back eliminates the need for having to draft a receiver early. Are you actually paying attention to what the man said? Or, I don't know, do you just have some sort of bias or some sort of narrative agenda that you want to push? Whatever. Look, to me, that sounds like it doesn't change anything. Because Jalen Guyton only provides you that one thing. Maybe it's just me. Anywho. But the direction that I'm going in here and what I'm clearly trying to state is that, for the most part, the majority of what Brandon Staley has said over the last few years is what you've seen come to fruition in some way, shape, or form. Even if it didn't materialize on the field per se, you would see it in the personnel. You could see it in some of the shifts that they were making, some of the guys that they brought in to fill in roles that other guys weren't necessarily fulfilling. And I choose, until further notice or he gives me any evidence to the contrary, that he's going to continue to do what he says he's going to do. So with that being said, I expect the receiver to be taken pretty early, first 2 rounds, but we'll see. Yo, man, let me stop playing with y'all. Number 5, on this hill I stand. Give me Zay at 21. Straight up. If y'all been paying attention for any period of time, if you followed me for a little bit, you know this. Since December of 2021, I've been touting this dude. And I know it's become super popular of late. In the last few months, that's the name. Everybody's mocking him there. And it's cool. I'm glad everyone caught on finally. Problem solved. You take Zay at 21 if he's available, because at this point, I'm not even really certain that he will be. Everyone's falling in love. You've got him out there now catching passes from Mahomes, and there's no way in hell that can happen. If y'all want to see a grown man cry in real time, let the Chiefs get their hands on Zay Flowers. I might disappear for a while. I don't know when I'd be back. But all the stuff that I've been talking about, the 3-level terror, what he would mean to the offense and Justin Herbert, what he would mean as a returner, he fits the bill ideally. And I'll get into it a little bit more when the guys and I have the receiver show this weekend. In great detail, actually. I can't wait to talk about him. I just kind of go to town. Pause. Yikes. But that's my dude. He's been my dude for a while now. And, between either he or Darnell Washington, those are the 2 names that I've been riding with for a minute now. But really, it's always been Zay. At 21, that's the guy. And if the Chargers are fortunate to have them fall into their laps, they better not screw it up. You hear that, Tom? If you just so happen to run across this video or recording, don't screw it up, man. I'm not making any threats or anything at all. I'm not that type of guy. Just saying. Do us all a favor. Get it right. And I highly doubt that anyone will be complaining a year from now. And you know who's really going to love it? Number 10. Because he might, because of a pick like this and the addition of Kellen Moore, who I know would be able to utilize a player like this, might have the best year of his career. We're talking about MVP-ish type stuff. But that's just my word. What do I know? Just a dude. These are just my opinions. And you don't have to agree with me, but you know how I feel and what I always say. I don't care. But thank y'all for joining me anyway. It's been your boy. And until next time, y'all take it easy. And I'll see y'all on the next show with Jamie and Garrett. We're breaking down those receivers this weekend. Join us there live. And until then, y'all take it easy, and your boy will be back with another 5 of them. Thanks for your head top. Fresh. Hot out that air fryer, because we do like to keep it healthy. If you did not know. Y'all take it easy. Go on.